I'm Catherine, the creator of Shia and the Jetsons Community Preservation of the Promised Land. I just want to make this quick video. It's about how we're in judgment. Now, everyone's in judgment where it's good and bad. So, the good part of judgment is where, you get good things because you're being judged for doing good things. So, like for me in my situation, and your situation, who's looking at me now, who's trying to get to the promised land, we're in good hands. We are going to the promised land because we're being judged for that. You deserve, we deserve to go to the promised land. And so that's why good things are happening to us. You know what I'm saying? Oh, speaking of good things, I received a $99 donation from Selena. Thank you, Selena. And I still can't get over Terrell. You don't understand. He donated back to back. He donated $148, $120, and then $90. Ricky Parker before that, there's Ricky Parker. He donated $333. This was like about, I don't know, this was like back in August, but still. And then he donated $144 twice. See, people trying to get to the promised land, where people are serious. People that are looking at me, thank you. I'm seriously, thank you. So thank you to Selena, Terrell, Carlos, that guy. Thank you, because you donated. Thank you, Mark Helm. See, Mark Helms is one too. That's another one. He donates back to back. Earl. Okay, so listen, we're getting to the promised land. Let me tell you why. Because good things are happening to us. How? Because we deserve it. We deserve good things to happen. You know how long we suffered? We suffered for 400 years. We deserve to go to the promised land. This is crazy because you know that you're indigenous. You know this. So if you know you're indigenous and we've been suffering under the hands of these parasites for 400, your great great grandparents was removed for 400 years, and when we were removed, the parasites put their services and laws and rules and regulations on top of our people, in which we are forced to be paying rent all this time, forced to be paying food and water. Oh my God, that's an abomination. We were removed from our promised land. So somebody asked in our comment section, where's the promised land at? The promised land is where you're at. We were removed from our promised land. And now we're getting back to that because it's judgment on all sides. It's judgment, right? So now when we talk about judgment, we have to go back to the beginning of what happened to us. How did it become to where United States became so dysfunctional? Well, France and the Greeks and the Romans over there, and the French people and France, they donated a Statue of Liberty to America. Sorry, there's something flying right there. They donated a Statue of Liberty to America, and it was a curse because the Statue of Liberty is a cursed homosexual transvestite. The Statue of Liberty is a transvestite. And it was given as a curse to the Americas because they were jealous that they stole our resources and took our land. And as a token of their esteem, they gave the U.S. a homosexual, a transvestite Statue of Liberty, and that cursed their bloodline and the bloodline white race here, because both sides are an abomination. Because I told you about Paul Revere. If you look at the story of Paul Revere, you will know that all of the white people came here as criminals in shackles and chains. They didn't come here searching for great lands. They came here as straight up criminals. The black Moors and the British Moors and the white Moors, the black British Moors, and with the white British, brought them here. And when they brought them here, just look at the story of Paul Revere. In fact, when we go to court, the judge and the attorneys and everything, they have to tell us the story about Paul Revere so that it can be an open and closed case real quick. Because when they tell the story about Paul Revere, every white race will understand, and they already know already anyway. They're just trying to, they don't want to tell you the story of Paul Revere, which means that all white people came here as criminals. George Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, all of the people that you see as presidents, they came here as criminals. Not only as criminals, but homosexual transvestite criminals. On top of that, because they were from the Greeks. The Greeks were homosexual transvestites. The Greeks were transvestites that were homosexuals. And they procreated with the Moors, in which the Moors brought them over here. Watch the story of Paul Revere.
That alarm.
Paul Revere will tell you that they all came here as criminals, and that the British went back to London to get more reinforcements to kill the people that they brought here, to kill the white parasites that they brought here to our country. When they came here, when the reinforcements came here from the British were destroyed or sent back by the homosexual white people that were brought here in chains and shackles. They gained their independence. That's why you have the 1776 4th of July. It's them celebrating the defeat because they defeated the British and pushed them back to where they came from, and then also negotiated with all of them later on to where they started stealing our resources and taking it to London. So that's why you see London museums where it has black people in it. It's us, and our things were sent there too as well, because we're indigenous to this world. This is our world. So in London, in France, it was all black at first, of course. In Italy and Rome, it was all black. Okay, so when they came to the Europeans, it was nothing but white people. It was nothing but black people there in Europe. It was nothing but black people. So the white people went in and conquered the black Italians. It was all black. Italian, Morocco, they was all black. Go ahead, look at the old maps, because this world is predominantly all black anyway. Okay, so now when they did that, okay, when they brought their worst here, they were supposed to kill them here and get rid of them here because they were transported over here to kill them. Well, they didn't succeed, and the homosexual transvestite people that was, I know that sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. What you mean homosexual transvestite? That's what they were. When they came over here, most of them they were transvestites. They were women and men. They were men dressed as women coming over here, trying to be like, oh, we need to settle, and they were men. That's creepy. But there was a lot of them coming over here. Anyway, the French brought the Statue of Liberty as a gesture of those type of people coming here, and then raising up the torch and everything as a symbol of what they are coming over here is what I'm trying to say. So the Statue of Liberty is a symbol of what came here, homosexual, transvestite, and this is where you get adrenochrome. This is where you get 160,000 black women came up missing within 15 years. It was a documentary on it where it was 165,000, or was it 65,000 black women? They came up missing in the period of like 10 years. And then children too come up missing, right, by the thousands. And you wonder who's kidnapping these children. It is the CPS custody, Walt Disney, schools, anything to steal your child. They created the service for that. Who did that? The Statue of Liberty, transvestite type energy came here, did that. Do you understand? Because the French brought the Statue of Liberty as a symbol of what came here.
Significantly, that sent me on a little rabbi trail, okay? And this rabbi trail took me to a place that I really didn't want to go. So I'm going to give you a close-up of this picture here. This is the moon and the star, as you can see here, okay, that I'm talking about. It shows up again on Ishtar's chariot. But what I want to focus on is this. There's a close-up, ladies and gentlemen. And what does that look like? The Statue of Liberty. So I'm going to take a little bit of a rabbit trail for a second and get uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And we're going to find out who Lady Liberty really is.
It's a man.
So we're going to go back to the French sculptor Frederic Augustus Bartholdi. In 1834 to 1904, went to Egypt in 1868 for inspiration.
He went there for inspiration because they have no history. White people do not have a history, so they have to go to black history for not only inspiration but knowledge and wisdom. Okay, so that they can copy off of us, so that they can live, because you have to have a badge and authority to live on a planet. You have to have a reason to be here. You just can't be willy-nilly stealing countries. So what they did was they stole our country and then called it theirs.
The construction of the Statue of Liberty began in 1878. So let me talk about this for just a second. How many of you were told in school that the French donated the Statue of Liberty to the United States of America? How many know that is absolutely not the truth whatsoever? Okay? Whatever they tell you, just forget about it, right?
Okay.
It just totally backs what you were thinking in high school, which is, why am I here anyway? Right? You find out years later, you were right.
Yep. You wasn't supposed to go to school that whole time.
But what I want to talk about here is this. The Statue of Liberty, when Bartholdi was pitching this, he was a sculptor, okay? And
these are both men. Both of them are men, not women.
And as a sculptor, he was trying to build something great that had never been done before. And so he went to Egypt to be inspired, because he knew that in Egypt, everything was huge, okay? Everything was big, from the pyramids to all the different statues. Everything was super life-size, and he wanted to get that inspiration.
Okay, but why? Why was everything big? Because we're gods. We are gods that are spoken of in the Bible.
Keep that in mind. Then what he did was he went around the world pitching the Statue of Liberty. We were not the first place that he went to. He was a salesman and a sculptor at the same time. And what happened is they went to America. America liked the idea and tried to raise funds for the Statue of Liberty, but they couldn't. They were having a very difficult time raising the funds for the Statue of Liberty.
Look, listen to what he's saying. He's saying that they tried to get this statue, knowing that it was a man dressed knowing that it was a transvestite. So if America knows that it's a transvestite, because the first Statue of Liberty was a black woman with boobs, breasts, hips, beautiful hair, and she was a black woman, and you could see clearly she's a woman. Well, the French replaced her and put a man, transvestite, and in America, white people, parasites, bought it. They rather have that than the beautiful real black woman statue as the Statue of Liberty.
Till one gentleman.
So that tells you who is ruling this world is homosexuals who hate the black women or black man, of course, and just want to conquer you. So that's what took us over.
In a local paper, decided to write a blog, what we would call a blog today, or a newspaper article, basically ripping on the middle class, saying, hey, the rich cannot be the only ones that represent America. We need to give to this cause because we need a representation of freedom. And wouldn't you believe it, lo and behold, they raised the funds and they began the process of bringing the Statue of Liberty over to America and assembling it on American soil. Now, what's fascinating is if you look at the picture that's on your screen right now, I'm sure it's total coincidence, ladies and gentlemen, that the statue on the left not only looks identical to the Statue of Liberty, but has the exact same rays coming off what is arraying her head as the sun rays, representing the 7 continents of the world. It is the sun god that presides over the world. Oh, I'm not done yet. This is Addis. Now, Addis is somebody you need to understand who he is,
Look at that
because
faggot.
Addis was the priest or
Holy
the main
crap.
servant of Kybele or Ishtar,
Ugh, look how creepy that is.
or the wife of Baal, the sun god. And he, in their
Did you see the head? Ugh, wait, that just looked at.
great, because Addis what
Whoops, darn it.
to me significantly, that sent me on a little rabbi
Oh my
trail.
God. Hold on, let me just get back to this Addis thing. Trying to see about this, how this thing looks. Oh, there it goes.
He is because Addis
Ew, look at that. It's a head. So he cut off the head. Because where's the body at? So he's leaning on somebody's head. So this transvestite man, look at this man. This is creepy. Is that not creepy? Well, anyway, this thing took over our lands. This thing here. Look at this man. That's creepy. And he's wearing a dress. Look. And he must have cut off somebody's head. Because look at this man head he's leaning on with no body. See, this is a demon. This is a demon. And let me tell you something. When you see this thing coming, like the stars and stuff, it's a symbolism of where they came from. They don't come from this world. They don't come from this world. They came through lightning bolts, and they use this as like they come from the stars. No, you don't come from the stars. You come in a disrespectfully through lightning bolts because they're not from here.
was the priest or the main servant of Kybele or Ishtar or the wife of Baal, the sun god.
And look at, he's
And
castrated. They cut off the penises. That's why when they hang black people here, they cut off the penises because they cut off the penises over there first.
he, in their craziness, let's just leave it that wink wink, of what would happen in those times, is he castrated himself, then would dress up, cross dress as a woman, and wear this hat. This is a close up of the castrated Addis on the left and Lady Liberty on the right. What I want to suggest to you when I got to this part is I thought to myself, oh my goodness, is Lady Liberty really a lady? Or is it Larry Liberty? I don't know.
It's Larry.
But I'm going to let you decide as we do a little bit close up here, and you tell me if that looks like a feminine face. Ignore the long hair. Remember, the priests of Ishtar wore long hair, they castrated themselves, wore robes like women, and wore these headdresses.
Okay, now when they castrate themselves like that, that's a demon. Because when you look at this other movie, I think it was Venom, where this face turned into a demon face and the tongue came out, because this is a symbol of what they're going to turn into within 2 years. When you see Venom, watch Venom, Let There Be Carnage, or just Venom. You'll see the beginning of the movie, you'll see the Statue of Liberty and then that mean face. I think it's Venom. I can't remember. It was Venom or a zombie movie, whatever. But when you see that, it's a symbolism of what came here. The white people, Paul Revere, right? I told you about Paul Revere. All of the white people that came here, more than half of them was like this. Demons. This is how this is how they created the police department to take over the Most High God children. Why would you take over God's when you supposed to be, being friends with a God, and when you wanna live with a God, you don't want to kill a God. Well, these parasites come to kill gods. That's because they're demons. Obviously, what's the opposite of a God? A damn demon. These are demons, and we've been living under this demon law, this demonic law for 400 years. So now it's the ending of that, because you can't have demons reign supreme and forever. You can't do that. It's impossible for any type of temporary demons to occupy a world forever. It's impossible. So this is their time. This is their ending. This is where they end here. This is why the movies is coming out where it's showing you the truth now. You remember that movie where his tongue was sticking out and he turned into a demon, because this is where they turn it into. This is why everything is being revealed. You seeing how Statue of Liberty is really a transvestite demon, because this is what was taking us over, demons.
Now, one more better for you. Here is her face before it is assembled, and before you have the ability to look at the hair and be influenced. That's under construction.
It's still it's just a man, straight up man. They replaced this with a beautiful. There was a beautiful black woman who had the torch and everything. No, it was a lantern. She had a lantern to light the way, to lead the people to the promised land. That's what she was doing. It was a statue of a liberty woman who was taking her people to the promised land, to lead the way, because the woman would do that. Look at the movie Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Carnage protects the black woman. He marries the black woman in the end of this. What I mean by he marries the black woman in the movie, he ends up Carnage, the killer of the white people. The people that are going to come here to kill the white people here. Well, they're going to protect the black woman. Look at the movie Carnage, Let There Be or Venom, Let There Be Carnage, because in there you'll see how Carnage protected the black woman and told her to shut her mouth. Because why did they tell her to shut her mouth? Because that's our problem. We be, when I'm talking about shutting our mouths, I'm talking about we be yelling and screaming unnecessarily on shit that you're not supposed to be yelling and screaming about. Ranting and raving and just nagging and shit, right? Screaming at shit you're not supposed to be screaming at. When they come about and they start to kill these white people, black women can't be screaming and yelling if you're not getting killed yourself. If you're not getting killed, if they're not chasing you, then you have to shut your mouth. And this is what Carnage was telling the black woman when they come. When we come, don't be acting crazy, panicking, and running off at the mouth, and you know what I'm saying? Like you do. You know what I'm saying? That, I'm talking about these females like, I'm the baddest bitch. I'm talking about these females that's loud, ghetto, and they don't understand what's happening. The movie is letting the black woman know to close your mouth. It's going to be some shocking shit that's going to happen to you. Pay attention and close your mouth. This is just watch the movie. Watch the movie and you will see that Carnage was fighting with himself over the black woman. Okay, so Carnage wanted to rip the black woman's face off because of her yelling. And the man that married her said, no, you leave her alone. She knows what she's talking about. You see? Why did he say that? Because she do know what she's talking about. The black woman knows exactly what she's talking about. But her flaw is her mouth. You see what I'm saying? Because you're saying things you don't need to say, prematurely, or you just being a nuisance about things and you don't need to be. You understand? You don't need to be over dramatic with shit that you don't need to be saying or screaming about. You know what I'm saying? If you're not being chased and eaten, then don't be screaming and don't be fighting about nothing. You know what I mean? Like, just sit your ass down somewhere and shut up. That's basically what Carnage is saying to black women. When it's come about in the future is what I'm trying to say. So in the future, when these parasites have to get on the train and they have to be judged and all of this, you're going to see horrible shit. And if it's not happening to you, then they're saying to close your mouth. If it's not happening to you, then close your mouth. That's what Carnage is saying.
So you can be the judge, ladies and gentlemen, but this little rabbit trail here, I believe, shows us that not only has Attis, or the priest of Ishtar, and sun god worship showing up all over Egypt, all over Rome, all over Greece, and everywhere else in the Eastern Mediterranean, but is on our soils and has infiltrated America today and has literally become the epitome and the torch of freedom, is bondage. Let's go one further.
It's bondage.
The seven.
It's bondage. Listen, on this man's feet is shackles. They got him tied. Why do they have this man tied? Because he came here. Paul Revere came here as a homosexual. They all came here as criminals, is what I'm trying to tell you. This statue from France or wherever it's from, because he said it's not from France. But everybody's saying it is from France because France brought it over. But okay, whatever. But it came from across the sea. Well, when it came from across the sea, it was trying to tell everybody that this is what came here was a demon. All of these white people that came here as I'm talking about the men and of course the women give birth to these things is what they came out as homosexuals where they hate females and they eat children. That's what came here. And then he's trying to wear a wig. This is some demonic shit right here. Look at that. At least smile. Nothing. No jewelry, no earrings, because it's a man wearing a wig. That's not. And then America is gonna go with that because that's America. See, if America bought it, then that's what America is. It's these people.
Rays of the sun. Notice the nimbus, the halo of rays of the sun. This is an ancient pagan sun god. It's everywhere. This is not something they just made up. Helios, look at this. Holding a torch.
Because he's gay. Look at his gay self. Look at his, that's gay.
He's the Colossus of Rhodes, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world.
Oh my God. That's flaming gay.
Where did he get the idea of the torch? Ladies and gentlemen, he took a trip here. He took a trip to Egypt. He studied these.